absurd.
I can't see anything.
Hello, I'm Michael Veitch and welcome to Sunday Arts. As a kid, children's author and illustrator Leigh Hobbs was, in his own words, a skinny misfit. So it kind of makes sense that he went on to create another misfit in the character of Old Tom, a mischievous mog who delights in wreaking havoc. But like the true rascal he is, it's Old Tom who gets the last laugh because, would you believe, Leigh is allergic to cats.
My art is creating characters for the children's books that I write and illustrate. I can't imagine not doing what I'm doing. I can't turn the ideas off. I've got so much swirling around in my head, and I love the idea of just getting it all down in paper. I started off illustrating other people's children's books, but lost interest in the stories that I was being asked to illustrate. And they weren't character-driven enough, and I had my own characters quietly creating themselves. It probably takes about half a day to do one of these pictures. And I suppose my thing with colour is it's instinctive. I've bought lots of books on colour theory, but I don't understand them. But, so I use a very limited palette and dilute things down. Some of the drawings, or some of the illustrations or paintings or whatever, look, I think, deceptively simple. I actually work hard to make them not look laboured. That cat is high. Look at that look in his eye. Oh, I never ever mention the word cat in the books because I pretend that Old Tom is like a 7-year-old boy. And the Old Tom books really are about the love between a mother and a son. But, you know, instead of a real 7-year-old boy and a real woman, I've got two grotesques. You know that cat's been drinking. Old Tom is almost a real character. He's not evil, he's sort of sneaky. Like a blue heeler mixed with a Tasmanian devil. That's what he is. I don't like goody two-shoes characters particularly. Sometimes, you know, I'm just out walking the dogs and I get ideas. You know, walking past the local primary school where I actually went 50 years ago or whenever, that's when I started to get the idea for the school for Horrible Harriet. I think there's energy, you know, it's sort of withheld energy in the drawings, but really it's getting the character right. It's an expression on a face because, you know, it's a sly look or, you know, the turn of a mouth. They're the sorts of things that really intrigue me. For 25 years I was an art teacher. I'm actually using a lot of my teaching experiences now in my books. Horrible Harriet is based on a couple of girls I used to teach. Who's talking? Even though I don't teach anymore, thankfully, I go and visit schools and talk to the kids about my books. I get them to draw Old Tom, and by doing that, the kids learn how, you know, a line here and a mark there can make all the difference and create a character. Now, he's got a bandaged foot and he carries the fishbone because I need him to look different from other cat characters. So let's draw his foot. We go down, around and up. Let's see your drawings. Hold them up under your chin. Good grief. Just as I said, lots of different Old Toms. Well, they're all different and they all look like him. It's amazing, really. I quite like kids as long as they're like dogs, well-trained or they behave themselves. You know, I quite like them, you know, they can be hilarious and funny. You know, but see, I'm not interested in a cooey way, you know, what's it called, a baby type way with kids. And, you know, I think that's the same. My relationship with kids as a teacher was sort of detached but slightly subversive. This is how I work. I get the ideas for the front cover, start to work on the pictures inside. I might think of the first picture, then I go to the last one. I've got, you know, 90 pages in between. This is bits and pieces of text that I'm experimenting with. You know, it's a bit like a jigsaw puzzle. I put together, then throw up in the air and then sort out again. It gradually takes shape. Do words come first or pictures Sometimes it's usually a picture, like I get a mad idea for a picture and I put that down and think of a line of text that may say the exact opposite to what's happening in the picture. But of course I don't only do children's books, I paint and I've made stuff in ceramics and three-dimensional figures and things. The Flinders Street Station teapots are in numerous public collections, the State Library of Victoria, National Gallery of Victoria and a few other places. But really this is all connected to my being intrigued by characters, almost like what I'm doing in the children's books, but in another medium. The kids' books are about people being left out or oddballs or freaks or, you know, people being left alone. And even though I always had mates, I sort of did feel slightly out of kilter with, you know, the rest of the world. Because I had this whole world going on in my head. Even though I had a really happy childhood, I was terribly thin and dreadfully shy and really self-conscious. And I think that comes out in the books as well. I'd love it if at least one of my characters was to last. I think there's got to be something real about the characters, like a magic. You can't quite put your finger on what it is, but something about them that makes kids connect with them. And I don't think always you can articulate it.
Well, he certainly works some magic with those kids. They seem to like old Leigh as much as they liked old Tom. This week, our sometime poet-in-residence, Alicia Sometimes, draws on the rhythms of blues legend Blind Willie Johnson and in the process creates